Hello and welcome to the next episode of The Ambitious Sloth. And today I'm having Alex Heyne here, and I'm really excited that he took the time for me and the podcast to be on here. Maybe a short recap of him, because most probably don't know him. He is author of Master the Day, the book. He is running the YouTube channel Modern Health Monk, studied traditional Chinese medicine, and additionally he has a YouTube channel, Alexander Heyne, which is also directed to the traditional Chinese medicine. And actually where I got to know him from was from YouTube videos about productivity and getting more effective from basically doing the studies. And the first question I have is, what does the Modern Health Monk mean to you, and how did you even come up with that name?
Yeah, so for me, the big thing was that I had lived in China for a little bit in my early 20s, and I came back and I really was passionate about health stuff, but I didn't really resonate with the personal trainer thing, and I didn't resonate with a lot of the wellness advice, because to me it seemed like modern people were very different from ancient people. And a lot of modern people, the health problems they have are really stress-related, overwork, sitting too much. And so when I started Modern Health Monk, I wanted to be able to mix all of those passions, all those interests of, the meditation with fitness, with habits, with all that kind of stuff. And one of my professors said to me, he said, for modern people, the two most important things are sleep and meditation. And I think that really shows how fast life is going now with technology, with all the stuff people have going on. So for me, Modern Health Monk, the brand, it mostly was around trying to mix in wellness and health advice, but for people today. How do they deal with the stress? How do they deal with sitting all day? How do they deal with being unhappy and depressed and dissatisfied? These illnesses and these conditions that are very common now, more common than they were in history.
Wow, okay. But that seems also really, at least in the beginning, really strange advice that the two most important things are meditation and sleep, at least in common days today. How did you react on those?
Yeah. Obviously most modern people need to work on nutrition and what they eat a lot and exercise. But really what we're seeing a lot of is because of the internet, because of technology, because of just the overall how fast life goes now, people are just doing too much. And it results in a lot of, basically the whole process relating to increases in stress. And we can say a person's 30 pounds overweight. So the thing would be okay, we should focus on diet, right? But not really, because when you talk to a lot of these people, what you learn is that they're unhappy or they're frustrated with their lives. They don't feel like their life has a lot of purpose and meaning, or they feel honestly, they don't enjoy day-to-day life. And there's job stress, there's relationship stress, there's all these food choices we didn't have in human history. Humans now can go to a restaurant from the Middle East, right next to it's from China, right next to it's from Africa, right next to it's from America. Kings in ancient times couldn't even have this if they wanted to. And so I think for modern people, what this professor, this doctor was saying, he was saying that for a lot of people, anxiety and depression are just off the charts, just so high. And yes, diet and exercise, but really behind it, when people are calmer and happier and they're just more present in their lives, they don't really feel the need to eat certain foods and also to overeat so much or bored or stress eat.
It sounds a bit contradicting somehow, because being or getting more done or being more ambitious, and also try to be with the podcast as well, seems to be counterproductive to being happier and healthier. Or that. It's
tough, man. I struggle with it a lot. Ambition is a dual-edged sword.
Yeah.
Where on one part you're always unhappy, dissatisfied, right? Dissatisfaction is what drives people to create the best companies, the Rolls Royce, the nicest, most luxurious car, the Apple iPhone, the most luxurious, perfect restaurants like Jiro dreams of sushi. But it's that dissatisfaction that if you don't watch it, it becomes the dog that bites you. And it's the same with me. It's the dissatisfaction of always wanting the next level, but then at what point do you stop? And I think, a lot of people, they just end up being depressed or unhappy, especially when they get the success. Let's say they're 20 years old, they were in a poor family, they were broke, and they spent 20 years working hard to be a successful lawyer and provide for their family. And their whole life, their only dream was to be successful so they could have the life that they didn't have as a kid. And then you find that they get super depressed because they have there's nothing left to go after. And so I think it's rare to find someone who is a master at both achievement and fulfillment. And I think that's the secret. But I think most people, they want to be more ambitious in general.
Okay, I see that. It's obviously also a bit what drives me as well, to be kind of ambitious and to get a huge thing out of the podcast. And like, what is your kind of secret, or how would you try to deal with that, with the double-edged sword?
How would I try to like create ambition where the person's not so motivated?
No. How you can deal with both? You said you this is like some kind of the secret, and how can you have both on the same level, kind of?
Yeah, I think it's all about just what you focus on in life. So if every day all I'm focusing on is like my ambition, like there's that saying about like the two wolves inside of you, that Native American story. I think you could literally on a piece of paper write like, these are my ambitions. This is the things I want to create and improve. But these are the things that really make me happy. Like, I know I have a big Word document or a Evernote document, all the things that make me happy. And almost all of it is just like hanging out with friends and family, people, contribution, helping other people for no reason, just doing work or a hobby that I love with no goal. So like for me, medicine is actually a really good mix because I just love medicine. Like I love when a patient comes in, they don't know what's going on. They're sad, they're frustrated, they're angry. And then it's my job to like figure out the puzzle. But it's also a profession where you're immediately helping people. So you see the effects on their life. So I think people need to think like, where do I get like my hunger? What is that ambition going to bring me to? But also that fulfillment. What are the things that make me feel deeply happy on just a day-to-day basis? Because I think, so many ambitious people, they only focus on that wolf of like the improvement. They never focus on that, like the gratitude, the satisfaction. And I'm a perfect example. I'm very not grateful. I do not for a long time focus on the satisfaction because like if you're unhappy and you're overweight or sick or you never get the woman or the guy that you want in relationships, like if you have all those things not going well, you can use that as your hunger for a very long time, for decades. Some people use that their whole lives. But I think the combination is, okay, what are the things that really motivate me to achieve at a high level or change my life? And then also, if I achieved every goal, or if I had $1 billion, what would I just do? Because it was so enjoyable. And so I always try to think about both now. I try to make that a conscious habit.
Do you already establish this habit of being grateful or making yourself aware of what you want to be grateful for?
Yeah, so for me, it had to be a habit. I don't really do any like gratitudes. That's very common in the entrepreneur space. But in general, I just try to focus on the habit of like, as an entrepreneur, like things change so fast. You can have your best day and tomorrow can be the worst day of your life. And they can do that for years, And so I think what I do is I remind myself that as a business owner, all the time, something is not going well. But all the time, something is going well. And so I have to focus both on, it's just training where my attention is. Like, am I going to focus on all the bad things or all the good things? And you just have to train yourself to do both if you're only focusing on one. And that's what I'm trying to do.
So you're trying to, like, every day when something is going wrong, okay, what went also quite well during that time, and the other way around.
Yeah, because like the early years as an entrepreneur, they're really hard, trying to like make a living off your company. And so for me, like at the start, it was like, why am I not there yet? Why am I not there yet? Why am I not there? Like so angry and annoyed every day, and I built my business with a full-time job for 3 years. So every day, work 9 or 10 hours of the job, go to the gym, come home, work on my business 3 hours. That's all I did. 3 years. And it was really hard to stay mentally happy with that, that many years of struggle. And what I would do is I would just say like, let's just use money as an example, like for entrepreneurs that you want to talk about. It's a good example because you can say, my business this year only made like $10,000, let's say. And then you're like, well, I need $30,000 to live. And then you could, every day you think about, like, I'm so unhappy. I hate that my business isn't making enough money. Or you could go back, look at the last year instead of the next, and be like, you know what? Last year I had $0. Now I have 10,000 or 2,000 or whatever. That's pretty good. And so it's more of like training yourself to look at the progress rather than the gap ahead.
And you made that a habit to always look at both sides, right?
Yeah, especially for my business, because that was the hardest goal I've had to achieve. And so you always have to, like, there's two ways. One is you can be very goal-driven, or you can be very excitement-driven. Like, if you really enjoy what you do, you actually don't care how fast it goes.
That's so
like,
true.
It's so, and like, that's like the secret, really. Because like, if you actually like it, you're not, like, every day you're not watching the clock, like in sports. You're not like, oh, there, so close, so close, so close. Like, when you like it, you don't even care. And I really believe that's the secret now, because it removes all the stress. It removes almost all the pressure. Like, it doesn't make you unlimited money just out of the air, but it immediately, like, if I loved every aspect of my business, then I would have been fine internally. But I was stressing myself out every day because I wanted to quit my job and I wanted to work on my business all day. And so if I had the same personal development back then, I would have just tested more businesses to find the business I really enjoy working on. Because then every day you enjoy it. Every day you win. You know what I mean? There's no rush.
That's really so true. If you find something what you're really ambitious about, for example, right now I'm with that podcast because I'd really just like to interview, to talk to people who are passionate like you are right now. That's really awesome. And also getting up now at 3:30 to making the podcast is not
right. That
was so freaking easy. I was really literally looking at the alarm when it's gonna ring finally. I really couldn't sleep just because of waiting for it. And
that you know you're doing the right thing.
That's really cool and makes someone really happy. And as you said, there's no restriction on time, on how much I want to spend on it. Doesn't matter how much I slept, really. And doing that next to also university is, I think, quite challenging, but it's, as you said, totally doable if that works when you're really happy with what you're doing.
Totally.
And I also heard that you did your business next to studying medicine, right? How did
I still am. I have 2 more years
to study medicine?
Yep, I'm in medical school. Yeah.
How are you dealing with that? Building your whole YouTube, social media, and counseling business, and studying medicine next to it.
Yeah. So I work a lot.
I can't imagine that.
So I work a lot, but also it's all about the systems I set up before. So like the reason why my business, like my company is successful now is because I learned how to build it in only 3 hours per day. Because that's all I had when I had a full-time job. And so I had to learn, what do I do every single hour that it's like the most important things. Like I just started social media after 4 years of my business. I didn't do anything social media because I knew exactly what makes me money so that I can quit my job, right? All I did for like 3 years was I wrote blog articles and I learned how to sell online courses, my own programs, and do coaching. That's all I did. So every day I have a little piece of paper right here. It's got it right next to me. All right?
Oh, you still? Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, even though I'm on summer term break. So I have one side is my business stuff, one side is my school study stuff. And this is, each little block is either 40 minutes, I don't know if you can see.
Yeah,
there you go. Either 40 minutes or an hour. And I know, like, the first block is for sales. Like, what am I doing that makes money in my company? The second thing is the content. What content am I creating this week? And now I have a little extra income, so I hire people to help me with editing and stuff. And then emails, and then fun. What's, like, exciting me in my business? On the back are usually 3 study blocks for school. So I know my most difficult classes, what I have to focus on. And then each one of those is also broken down. So the big thing for me is having a game plan for exactly what to do. And based on the 80-20 rule, what are the most important activities? So in a business, even if I don't like the fact, the most important thing is what makes me money, because otherwise I don't have a business. And so I focus on that first. And then the content is what is the growth plan for my business. So for me, that involves a certain number of YouTube videos per week and a certain number of blog articles per week. And then the third part is the sales and also the fun part. Like now I'm releasing a print journal based on my book. And that is eventually I want to make my whole business just the fun thing. And anything I don't like, I just pay other people. So the other half about the studying is all about, I've studied which courses are going to be the hardest, which take the most time. And then I've also went through all the books on like the best study techniques and memory devices and how to pass medical school, all these things. And so I've actually broken those down also into like a Evernote on the best study techniques. So it's a lot, but it's basically, you have to have a system for when you're going to do this. And then, I only usually work 2 hours at a time before taking a break. And I usually use the gym as my break. So a little bit of an energy boost there.
Sick, man. Sounds really like you've almost every single minute planned in every single day you're doing. So
I try to, yeah.
Wow. But what really is interesting to me, I also try to set up at least for every day a system to like what is the most important thing and try to execute on them. However, it obviously doesn't work every single day.
Right.
I guess I assume that also doesn't work for you as well. But
yeah, and this book here, this book is a great philosophy, right? It's like you figure out what the most important thing is, and that's all you like. If you have 3 hours, you only do that thing. But like I think in life, it's not usually just one thing. It's usually like 2 or 3 things. And like, obviously stuff comes up, right? The biggest one I notice is health. So if you don't sleep enough, you can't work at 100%. It just doesn't work. Like entrepreneurs think they can sleep 5-6 hours and drink coffee. You can't. There's nothing that fixes lack of sleep, right? The body needs that time to heal itself. And so I think the big thing is you also just have to do your best to be flexible. Like this is the system that I know works. Some days where I don't sleep enough, I don't feel well or I don't have a lot of energy. And so I just cut the list in half. And then I focus on what's most important. And I think, though, what people learn when they try a strategy like this, or like the one thing, they learn that they can actually spend like 1 hour instead of 4 hours. Like, I know a lot of entrepreneurs, they probably spend 9 hours doing what I do, but they don't know how unproductive they are because they haven't really been forced like to be accountable. Like it's a gift that I had a full-time day job. And it's a gift I have medical school running my company because it forces me to be creative and it forces me to only focus on what's most important. So I'm not spending time doing BS. I'm not spending time doing things that don't grow the company or I don't enjoy and that kind of stuff. So it's a gift and a curse. Like when you have no time, you have to do the most important thing.
Oh yeah, I also remember the theory that basically your work expands on how much time you have. So the more time you have to spend on, I don't know, for example, editing a video, you have 3 hours you could spend on it. You actually use that time. If you have just 30 minutes, you can do it in 30 minutes somehow.
Yep, Parkinson's law. I just edited a video in 30 minutes. So exactly. Yeah, like I literally talk to other YouTubers that have they can do this full time. And some of them I ask them how much they work and they're like, I don't know, I just work all day. And they're just like,
okay.
What? What are you doing all day? Like you upload 2 videos per week. What could you possibly have to do? And I think there's nothing wrong with that if you're happy or you have the time. But I want to have a life. I haven't had a life for 5 years. When I get out of medical school, I want to just work a lot less. So I'm really disciplined about it. I want to figure out what is the minimum I have to. And then if I want to work more, I can. Or I can focus on other things.
Oh, yeah. You still, how long are you doing the medical school already?
I did 2 years already. My heart is 2 years. So I have 2 more years.
Okay, and then afterwards, what are your plans on doing? You want to do this YouTube thing full time, or the counseling, or?
Well, I'm actually going to open a medical practice in LA. So I want to see patients, because like this is what I love. I'm studying Chinese medicine, so like integrative medicine, and I just love seeing patients one-on-one. Like they come into my clinic, and maybe three and a half days a week I'll see patients in LA, and the other 1.5 days I'll do more YouTube videos. I would love to do private events. I would like to do a retreat, maybe in Bali or Costa Rica. I want to write another book. A lot of just other fun stuff and more creative YouTube videos, and just I want to allow a little bit of time for creativity and more fun ideas.
But you still want to really focus on the medical counseling part, right?
Yeah, honestly, like medicine is my real passion.
Oh, cool.
That's what I love. That's what I want to study every day. So for me, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know where it's going to go. Like maybe I'll just end up becoming one of these celebrity doctors. I don't, I hope not. But I think it'll be cool though. I think it's really unique this time in history because never before in history can like you watch your doctor on TV, on YouTube for like a year and then come see them in their clinic. I feel like that's going to be really cool for people that want to come see me because they'll feel like they know me, and it'll be kind of weird because it's kind of cool, I think.
Yeah, don't you feel then a bit weird when they know basically everything about you, almost everything everything you shared, and you already shared quite also intimate stuff, and then they come and like, oh yeah, I know everything about you. Can we just start? And you're like, oh wait, who are you?
I don't know. Maybe I think it'll be good because I think they'll trust me. So they're going to have, like Chinese medicine too is considered alternative. So people are very skeptical. And even though it's more and more accepted, I think it's going to be good because I can educate patients before they come. And then they'll have all their questions answered. And they're going to already know they like me or they don't like me. And then we can really get started, to improve their health and their life.
Okay, that's a fair point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I also, you already like touched the whole systems you had and how many you set up, but based on basically the one thing, what is the most important system you set up that helped you achieve the most to handling your business and studies next to it?
I think the most important system I did it's called the Ivy method, and I'm going to butcher the story, but he told it in Think and Grow Rich, and I think it was Carnegie who hired a consultant, or some major steel manufacturer hired a consultant to try to increase the profits of this business. And they hired this consultant, and he said, I want you to just put down, I think it was like the 3 to 5 most important things you do every day on a piece of paper. In order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. And then I want you, when you get into your office, you're just going to do 1, and when 1 is done, you do 2. When 2 is done, you do 3. And if you get to the end of the day and you didn't finish the list, you did too many things. So you remove something from the list. And I guess the story was that it made this person so successful that they sent him a check for $25,000. But that's basically really what this list comes from. So you have to think, because it makes you think creatively, what is most important? And it also makes you show up every day with a game plan. Like if I don't do this, I go to my desk and then I open Facebook or I open YouTube or I go to email or there's all these projects that'll steal my attention. But this is really the focusing for what you're going to work on and what you're going to do. So this would probably be my biggest success habit I would recommend to people. And also, if they don't do that, just being healthy and working out. Like I feel like I don't know how people work long hours without working out, like fitness. When I go to the gym, it gives me such a burst of energy that I feel so much better. So that's what I would suggest.
So your planner kind of, or the strategy from Think and Grow Rich and doing sports as well, it's like the 2 most important things.
Totally, that's what I would say.
Okay, I guess right now the quality of the video is getting a bit bad. I just turn off my video and hope it maybe increases then the quality again.
Okay.
All right. So then another thing, what is really interesting for me. You're doing this already for a couple of years, that hard work and really focus on business growing really rapidly as well. With your channel right now is this growing faster than ever right now, as well as doing a second channel. And then the question is like, how do you keep really focused on on basically all of it and not get into procrastination?
So there are certain things, like this might surprise people. Okay. There's a lot I really like in my business, but I love YouTube. It's one of my passions, but I never feel motivated to write the scripts and shoot the videos and edit videos. Like, there's no day where I ever feel motivated.
No way.
So, never. So I have to force myself to do it early in the week, because the later the week goes on, the more I'm like, it's almost the weekend, I should take some time off. So I think when people think that, like, they see really successful people, much bigger than me, and they're like, wow, it's so effortless. It's really not. Like, a lot of what I do is really fun now, and I want my life to be that. But, like, the YouTube videos are something I'm super passionate about, but every day I don't want to do that. I have to really push to do that. And so that's where it comes to having some kind of accountability. Like, for me, every Thursday I have a mastermind group where every Thursday we have a call. It's 30 minutes. We say, what were your goals, and did you do them or not? And that's really big accountability for me. But with the YouTube videos, it's also teaching myself that, I don't feel motivated now, but once the video is out, I'm usually really proud of the video. And I can look at it later and be like, I did a good job.
All right. That's a bit counterintuitive, I think, for most people to like, okay, usually, also what my first thought was, okay, once you really find what you're passionate about, you don't have a problem with motivation anymore because you just love what you do. But now you're saying, okay, you actually one part of it I really don't like, but I still do it because of the outcome. That's really interesting.
So, it is. And I think you can have both. Like in medicine, I love going home and studying for 3 hours. But at the same time, sometimes to reach the next level, you really have to force yourself when you don't want to. Like maybe in your field, it involves learning a skill that you know is going to make you the best, but you're not that motivated to learn that specific skill. So I would say, like, don't think there's something wrong if you enjoy your work, but you don't feel motivated every day. Like, it still requires a little bit of pushing sometimes.
All right. You said what helped you is also being accountable by your mastermind group. How did you start with that, and how did you really get all those people together which hold you accountable for it?
Yeah, so my very first one, I actually emailed a few people that I followed on the internet. So I had a personal development blog called Milk the Pigeon. And I had this one girl who was building a business, and she commented on a lot of my posts. And I said, hey, I'm going to start this group. Would you be in for it? And she was really excited. She was super ambitious, very, very motivated. And eventually she knew 2 other people. So what I would do is, if you're just getting started, I would reach out to people either on the internet that you know, or I would reach out to just friends locally. So if you have a friend locally that you know wants to improve their life, that's a perfect person. Or if you can't find that, I would use like meetup.com, some kind of local meetup group.
That easy.
Yeah. The right people will think it's an amazing idea because they want to live, they want to be more ambitious and change their life.
Yeah, at least like for me, it feels that, you always get those people who say, yeah, I really want to improve it and I really want to change something. But then they, after like a couple of weeks, well, I'm not in for it anymore. It's just like maybe too much, or I don't want to pursue anymore. Like, that's actually quite often what I, encountered or heard. Did you also experience that?
Yeah. Yep, I've had like 4 mastermind groups in the last 4 years, but one has been nonstop for 3 years. So sometimes I do 2 at the same time. And always there are some people more motivated than others. And honestly, I think if they just drop out, good, right? Because you want your mastermind to be the most ambitious, dedicated people. Like, if these people don't even want to do a 30-minute call once a week, are they really motivated? Are they really hungry to change their life? No, because if they were, that was the most exciting 1 hour of my life when I started my business and I had that mastermind call, because no matter how bad my week was, I knew I would be so inspired. So people are going to drop out, but that's okay, because that's just removing the people that are not that hungry to change. And then you could just get someone new, and that's more hungry.
That's true. Yeah. If people are really not, basically if you then find those people who are not as ambitious as you, or, maybe even pulling you down, it feels like then it's getting even harder to, stay on the same level or even higher, than you are right now. Because, what I also see is, there are also obviously always people who are around you in your environment who are saying, okay, you probably won't have success in your business or whatever you're doing, and with that, really a lot pull you down. And I feel that is for me at least, a huge major thing that either they smile at you and like, yeah, let's try it, we'll fail anyway, or they even say, yeah, don't even do it because you spend too much time on it. Did you also encounter something similar to that, so that people in your environment try to almost actively hold you down, and maybe how you dealt with it?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think everyone goes through that at the start, and it's hard because at the start you may think you have a good idea, but you don't have the confidence yet because there's no results. And I think that is why the mastermind is so important, because at the start, it's funny. When I had my blog before I started YouTube, so I just started YouTube 2 years ago. And before I started YouTube, I had just a blog. And this one guy, a childhood friend that I knew, he's like, how's your blog going? Like, kind of sarcastic. And I was like, good. Like, I'm going to be making new jobs for people, like hiring people. And he was like, okay, Obama. Right? And so, and now I am hiring people. But it's just like, at the start, that's where you have to like bite your lip, bite your lip and just be like, I just want to punch you so bad. But it's impossible because I didn't have results. I couldn't be like, look at my results. I have 5 books online. I didn't have any of that. And I think that's where you have to, that's why the mastermind is so important, because at the start, maybe they are right. You don't know. You don't have the experience or the confidence. And that is something that either you have to find within you, or you tell yourself, I'm going to keep going as long as it takes, as hard as it takes, which I told myself, and I'm going to find a way. So either it comes from yourself, the self-belief, or you have the mastermind, and they're like, you know what? My mom said you're never going to succeed. Okay, well, screw you, Mom. Like, my mastermind, these people are like, okay, well, your mom this is why she's like that. She doesn't know what you're going to do. So I think that's why it's so important.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty cool. That I think many are saying, okay, maybe you're not, actually, it might also be sometimes helpful to have those people on board, right? So if you have an idea and it's like really, you think it's like super awesome, and then people come by and say, no, it's shit because of this and that. And it's like, damn, I didn't think about that. Did you also have that?
It is very helpful, but I think the person, if you don't have a lot of self-confidence, those people may just shut you down and you may not execute. But I think if you have the self-awareness and you're like, you know what, I should think about this. Maybe they are right. It shouldn't discourage me, but I should think. That's always good. You should always be asking yourself that. Like, I think this is true. How do I know it's true? Because millions of entrepreneurs go out of business because they think something's true, but then in the marketplace, no one's interested.
Did you ever have those thoughts with your business, and like how did you go over it?
Yeah, like did I ever have the thought that like this is a good idea, but it wasn't a good idea?
No, did you sometimes even doubt yourself that this was a good idea?
Oh, I still all the time. Like it took, because at the start you don't have results, so you don't know if anything's working. You don't know if you're on the right track. Like even YouTube's a good example. I just started YouTube because I wanted a break from like just blog. I was so tired of writing articles. And I was like, let me just try this, you know? And it turned out to be really fun, and I really liked it. And I started getting comments on YouTube videos, and it's much easier to get YouTube comments than blog comments. And so I was very motivated by the comments. And so for me, YouTube started 100% out of love. I didn't know you could make any money. So I was like, well, maybe I'll just be like a video blogger and I'll just post it on my blog for my audience. But then I noticed that, like, oh, maybe I had something that people liked because it was getting more and more subscribers. And I just uploaded for fun. And then I realized, like, one day I was like, oh, wow, I have like 20,000 subscribers. And I met a little kid. He was like 10 years old. Yeah. And he's like, whoa, that's a lot. And I was like, really? I was like, I don't know anything about YouTube. I don't watch YouTube. Like, I don't know anything. So I think sometimes when you are just doing what you love, you don't worry about what other people think. And that's like another benefit of when you do something you're really passionate about, you care a lot less what other people think. Because, like, if they think it's stupid, who cares? You like it. Like, what they say is not going to affect if you like your work, you know? So I think it's very important.
And I also saw again that right now you all have over 180K followers on YouTube, and it's growing the fastest than ever. Are you putting now a lot more effort in it as well, or how did you get there? You know, it's less, almost the same effort, but maybe more strategy. So the only thing I really changed was I'm trying to figure out what topics my audience really wants to learn about. I'm also always trying to improve my video quality. So what that means is that, like, now at the beginning of my videos, I've added like 10 seconds of B-roll, some nice footage. I've tried to be more concise and speak less, shorter. But really, I think it comes down to, like, I'm only uploading still 2 videos a week, sometimes 3. I'm trying to do 3, but I also do one on my future Dr. Alex channel. So that's 4 videos a week. I edit 2, editor edits 2. But I think the most important thing is you find out what the audience likes and what videos resonate. And then every day, every week, you're trying to improve. So in my YouTube Evernote document, I'm always thinking, what are 3 things we can improve? Like, how can I improve the quality? How can I improve my skills? How can I make myself less long-winded, like more concise? How can I be a better teacher? I'm always thinking about what am I doing to improve? You know, and some people, they have the same video style for 5 years. And they can be successful, but I like upgrading all the time. I want my family and friends to see my videos and be like, damn, like, you're really good at video now. Like, that's impressive. So I'm really driven by growth, skill growth. That sounds really, really cool. So you have then almost like weekly or daily things you think about how you can improve it, or how do you also have a habit of it, or how do you do it?
Yeah. So it's mostly I just keep it in my weekly video ideas. And then basically anytime something pops in my head, I'm like, all right, we should think about this. But even sometimes big ideas, like my channel started fitness, but after 100,000 subscribers, I realized I'm so tired of fitness. Like, all my most popular videos are personal development, and that's what I love anyway. So let me just try making personal development videos, even if it's like a separate brand from my website, my business, and then sure enough, it exploded, you know? So that was like an intuition that, like, I need to do something different. And then when you listen to those, often awesome stuff happens.
It worked really well for you, and that's also the way how I found you.
Yeah, see? And, like, my books have sold way more copies from this, so, like, you have to listen to those little intuitions when things are not really working well.
Okay. Sounds really, really cool. Then I have one question, which is, I think for most people really interesting to know, is like, okay, what person did influence you the most in your life on the way you're doing right now, or anything else?
You know, so I have about 5 minutes because I've got to take another call. But
all right.
I mean, there's a lot of people. Honestly, both my parents really inspired me because they're both really good at different things, even though they're both human and they have their flaws. But I think, you know, like, for example, seeing my mom, who had to get a second job, even though she has her own company, she had to get a second job to help support the family and, like, pay off debt faster. And it was almost like I was complaining about working, you know, 10 hours at my day job and then 3 hours again at my business. And I did that for over 3 years. I was complaining about that, but there are people in the bad parts of the U.S. that have to work 3 jobs their whole life and sleep 5 hours a day, their whole life, just to live. And seeing my mom do that when she's 60 years old and she should be retiring, it made me realize I should just shut up with the excuses. And sometimes success is not pretty, sometimes it's not fun, sometimes you don't sleep, sometimes it affects your health, sometimes it sucks. But you just treat that as something you have to do to get to the next level in your life. And now I have more time and I can sleep more and I'm happier and I enjoy my business more. But it's for me, seeing what other people have to really go through and they don't have a choice and I'm choosing to do this, this is a hardship I'm choosing. I can stop if I want to. I don't have to do it. No one's forcing me. And I think it was just the perspective of that. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty powerful, I think. Okay, then because of the time issue, two last questions actually. What are the most important books you read?
So let me see. I put together a little list of a few here.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I did some little preparation. Okay. So the 3, and I'll tell you why. The Alchemist, because that was the book that got me back on the path to studying my passion, which is Chinese
read it actually a week ago the second time already.
Oh, so good. It's because the book is all about follow your excitement, listen to your intuition, and follow your heart, not your mind. That's so key. The second one is Ask and It Is Given. It's a very out there manifesting book, but it's really about focusing your thoughts on only the good stuff. And the third one is Martha Beck, Finding Your Own North Star. And that was a book that helped me understand that your intuition about what you should be doing is actually a better moneymaker than intellect. I should do this is how you make money, you get this job. That taught me and allowed me to just follow my intuition and trust. And it was true. And so that really helped me a lot. Now you can see they're all kind of the same themes.
Yeah. Oh, pretty cool. Can you send me the list so I can put it in the show notes or something?
Totally.
Then the last question is, what does the ambitious sloth or being ambitious and being a sloth mean to you? Do you have also the double-edged sword as you have with being ambitious?
So to me, the most important thing now, and that Ambitious Sloth is a great name, it's about achieving your life goals but still having a life. Right? Because the irony is we do these things, I built this business to live a better life so I can have work I love, work less hours, and have freedom to travel anytime. But the first years, I had no life. And so it's kind of this weird paradox. We do these things we save to improve our life, but then we're not even happy doing them. So then we're making our life worse. And so it's really thinking about what you value at the end of the day. And an ambitious sloth would be, for me, how can I get the same results with half the time? I mean, right now I make more money and have a bigger audience than most people who work 10 hours a day or more. So that I'm doing it should be proof to you that you can do it or anyone can do it. So I think it's about how do you build a business or whatever it is you're doing and not cheat yourself out of having a life.
Thank you so much for giving me these really awesome answers and spending the time. Maybe a short, we'll give all your contact details in the show notes. Thank you so much for giving me that.
Yeah, totally. Happy to help. I mean, the best way if people want to learn more about this philosophy is you can just check out my book, Master of the Day. It's on Amazon. If you email me, I'll send you, I'd 4 videos and a few worksheets. And if you just email me your receipt of the book, I'll send that over to you.
Oh, that sounds like a pretty good offer, man.
Yeah, so any listeners, let me know.
Okay, cool. I will. Thank you. I think that's it for the podcast.
Cool.
Wow. I tried to turn on the video for the last. Man, I'm really, really pumped that you spent so much time with me and gave me so many valuable answers on all the questions I ask you. It's really, really awesome.
Happy to help.